Welcome back to part 3 of Classrooms Without Walls, Creating Instructional Videos at EIU. I'm Tom Grissom. Today I would like to talk about effective educational videos. And the graphic that you see on your screen, you see the source link, the web URL below. And I was just reviewing part number 2, and it just occurred to me that some of the things that we take for granted, whether in our face-to-face classes or in an online instructional video we kind of expect students to know what to do because we created the PowerPoint slides, and they don't necessarily know how to do that. So anytime you see a URL like this, what I try to do is, if possible, I try to put it in the video description. I do that for many of our YouTube videos out there. But also, if you had taken the face-to-face course on creating instructional videos, I also provided a link to the actual slide deck, and this was an active link in a PDF. So make sure that you remember to be explicit with that. So this particular graphic came from the article referenced here at this URL, and it serves as a reminder, this tetrahedron here, of what makes an effective educational video. And the first thing they start with is something that we're all familiar with here in the College of Education, and that's the theory of cognitive load. And faculty are certainly probably experiencing this as well. And the theory of cognitive load goes something like this. You can only learn so much in a given time, and at some point you reach a saturation point where your head starts spinning and you think, well, I can't, I don't understand, I have a mental block, and you just need to kind of walk away. You just become overwhelmed with the content. And we've all been students, and we've certainly been there. And in an online environment, again, kind of place yourself in the student's shoes. Going from a face-to-face class to an online environment, just don't throw a PowerPoint like this out and say, well, here's the PowerPoint, study the PowerPoint and read the chapter. That's really not effective, effective education at all. So make sure that you're aware and cognizant of cognitive load. Now there's 3 basic different kinds of cognitive load, but extraneous cognitive load is one of those things that take away from our mental processes from the subject matter at hand, and our students are going to be experiencing a lot of extraneous cognitive load now because of the anxiety and everything that's going on, in their lives as we face this current situation. So there are certainly ways, and active learning is something we've always placed an emphasis on here at EIU, and in particular in the College of Education. But there's certainly ways to do active learning, even in an instructional video. So we'll share some examples of that as we go through this series here. And in engagement and the affective domain, the non-cognitive domain, the social emotional, we as teachers really need to understand and concentrate on that for our students, because if our students are preoccupied with all the many different things that are going on in the world, that's taking away the mental energy. And if just something as simple as caring and establishing a relationship, a learning relationship with the students, to let them know that you care, and that's important for them, like to see your face. Now, having said that, I'm going to disappear a little bit here, so I'm going to move my camera here and just concentrate on this tetrahedron. Anytime you see a link like that, be explicit and say, go there, click on the link, read this article, and it's going to fill in the background information. Again, remember, we're in a 100% online environment, so everything that we could, cram into a half-hour, 45-minute, or an hour lecture, we're just constantly bombarding our students with that information, and they certainly feel the cognitive load in that situation as well. And that's why we typically change every 15 to 20 minutes. That's typically why we change even in a face-to-face classrooms. Change a different method, get up, stand up, walk around, do a different thing, do some group work, talk to your neighbor. There's all kinds of instructional strategies to kind of mix it up so that we can limit some of that cognitive load that our students are experiencing. So yes, it is possible to do active learning in an instructional video. In fact, there's some very creative ways and some very effective ways, and I hope to find some EIU faculty examples here that we can share that I've worked with various EIU faculty, and they've done some fantastic work and certainly understand how to take some of that interaction that we typically do in a face-to-face environment and move it into an online. There's certainly ways to do that. So that's it for part number 3. So until next time, and this is Tom Grissom, keep on learning.